On a cold December night, while Paris shimmered under winter lights, something unexpected happened near the Eiffel Tower. Amid tourists snapping photos and locals rushing home, familiar melodies rose into the air, songs not born in France, but thousands of miles away in the Philippines. It was Pasko, Filipino Christmas, unfolding in the heart of Europe. Lanterns glowed, voices harmonized, and strangers stopped in their tracks. For a moment, Paris didn't just feel like the city of light, it felt like home for Filipinos who carried Christmas in their hearts across oceans and borders. For Filipinos, Christmas is not just a date on the calendar, it is a season of memory, faith, and belonging. Celebrations begin as early as September back home, with music, decorations, and a sense of shared anticipation. But in Paris, far from family and familiar streets, Christmas can feel quieter, colder, and lonelier. That's why this gathering near the Eiffel Tower meant more than celebration. It was a declaration. A reminder that culture travels, faith endures, and joy can bloom even in foreign soil. Paris is known for its romance, its art, and its history, but beneath its iconic beauty lives a diverse immigrant heartbeat. Among them are thousands of Filipinos, nurses, caregivers, artists, students, and domestic workers, who have built lives here while carrying memories of home. Many arrived with dreams, some with sacrifices, all with stories. Christmas becomes the one season when those stories converge, when the longing for home grows strongest, and when community becomes not just comforting but essential. The idea to bring Pasko near the Eiffel Tower didn't start as a grand plan. It began with conversations, messages in group chats, after-work talks, and Sunday gatherings after Massachusetts. What if we celebrate together? Someone asked. What if we sing our songs where the world can hear them? What started as a simple desire for connection slowly evolved into a powerful vision: to let Filipino Christmas shine in one of the most symbolic places on earth. Preparation took weeks. Volunteers balanced demanding jobs with rehearsals, planning meetings, and late-night practices. Parols, traditional Filipino Christmas lanterns, were handmade, carefully folded, and lovingly assembled. Songs were chosen not just for performance, but for meaning, carols that carried childhood memories, faith-filled hymns, and melodies sung in Filipino homes for generations. Every detail mattered because this was not just an event, it was a love letter to home. As December arrived, Paris grew colder, but anticipation warmed the Filipino community. Messages spread quickly: we're meeting near the Eiffel Tower. Families planned outfits, some wearing traditional clothing, others bundled in winter coats. Children practiced songs they barely understood yet somehow felt deeply. Elders smiled, knowing that even far from the Philippines, Christmas would still feel alive. The Eiffel Tower, usually a backdrop for tourists, was about to witness something profoundly human. The evening of the celebration, the air was crisp and the Seine reflected city lights like scattered stars. Small groups arrived quietly at first, blending into the usual Parisian crowd. But as more Filipinos gathered, laughter grew louder, greetings warmer. Hugs replaced handshakes. In that space, strangers quickly became kababayan, countrymen bound not by blood, but by shared roots and experiences far from home. When the first song began, passers-by slowed their steps. Filipino Christmas carols, gentle yet joyful, echoed across the open space. The voices were not perfect, but they were sincere, carrying emotion that no polished performance could replicate. Some sang with eyes closed, others with tears forming. For them, every note was a memory: a parent's voice, a childhood Christmas Eve, a home filled with warmth despite simple means. The Parols lit up one by one, their soft glow contrasting beautifully with the iron structure of the Eiffel Tower. Symbolically, it was powerful, Filipino light shining beside one of the world's most famous landmarks. For many, it felt surreal. They had left their country in search of opportunity, yet here they were, celebrating their culture openly, proudly, in a place millions dream of visiting. French locals and tourists gathered, curious and captivated. Some filmed on their phones, others simply listened. A few asked questions: what language is that? What are those lanterns? Smiles followed explanations. In that moment, Christmas became a bridge, connecting cultures without speeches or translations. Music did the work. Joy did the rest. Faith played a quiet but powerful role throughout the celebration. Many of the songs carried Christian themes, reflecting the deep religious roots of Filipino Christmas traditions. For Filipinos, Pasko is inseparable from faith, midnight masses, prayers, and gratitude for survival through another year. Near the Eiffel Tower, that faith wasn't preached loudly, but it was felt, resonating through voices lifted in hope. Behind the smiles were untold sacrifices. Many in the crowd worked long hours caring for others, children not their own, elderly strangers, hospital patients. Some hadn't seen their families in years. Some sent most of their earnings back home. That night, however, burdens felt lighter. For a few precious hours, they weren't workers or migrants. They were simply Filipinos celebrating Christmas together. Children ran around, laughing, unaware of the deeper significance unfolding. For parents, seeing their kids experience Filipino Christmas abroad was emotional. They wanted their children to know where they came from, to feel pride in their heritage, even while growing up in a foreign land. This celebration became a living classroom, teaching culture not through textbooks, but through shared joy. As more songs filled the air, confidence grew. Voices became stronger, harmonies fuller. The initial shyness melted away. Some danced gently, others clapped along. The Eiffel Tower sparkled on schedule, and cheers erupted, not just for the lights but for the moment itself. It felt like Paris was applauding the Filipino spirit. Food soon appeared, as it always does in Filipino gatherings. Simple snacks were shared, nothing extravagant, but deeply symbolic. Sharing food is sharing life, and even in the cold Paris night, that tradition endured. Conversations flowed easily, switching between languages, stories jumping from memories of home to realities of life abroad. For first-time attendees, the experience was overwhelming in the best way. Some admitted they had been feeling lonely, disconnected, even invisible in the city. That night changed something. They realized they were not alone. There was a community waiting, ready to welcome them with open arms and familiar songs. Social media soon amplified the moment. Videos and photos spread quickly, reaching families back in the Philippines and Filipinos around the world. Comments poured in, pride, admiration, and emotion. Many wrote, "I'm crying watching this," or, even far away, "Filipinos know how to celebrate Christmas." The celebration near the Eiffel Tower became more than a local event. It became a global story. What made the gathering special wasn't scale or spectacle, but sincerity. There was no stage, no tickets, no commercial agenda. Just people showing up as they were, offering what they could, voices, time, presence. In a city known for grand productions, this simple act of community stood out quietly, yet powerfully. The celebration also challenged stereotypes. Migrant communities are often seen only through their labor, not their culture or joy. That night, Filipinos showed another side, creative, joyful, faith-filled, and deeply human. They didn't ask for attention, yet they earned it through authenticity. As the night went on, temperatures dropped, but no one rushed to leave. Each song felt like it might be the last, and no one wanted the moment to end. Some recorded voice notes to send home. Others stood silently, taking it all in. The Eiffel Tower loomed above, but for once, it wasn't the main attraction. Eventually, goodbyes began. Promises were made, to meet again, to celebrate together next year, to keep the tradition alive. For many, this became a new Christmas ritual in Paris. Something to look forward to, something that anchored them through the long winter months. In the days that followed, the emotional impact lingered. People returned to their routines with lighter hearts. Work felt a little easier. Homes felt a little warmer. One night of shared celebration had recharged spirits worn thin by distance and responsibility. For Filipinos, Pasko is about togetherness, bayanihan, the spirit of communal unity. That spirit doesn't disappear when one leaves the Philippines. It adapts, travels, and finds new spaces to grow. Near the Eiffel Tower, it found a home, even if only for a night. This celebration also spoke to a universal truth. People carry their cultures wherever they go. No border can erase memory, and no distance can silence identity. When people are allowed to express who they are, cities become richer, more vibrant, and more human. Paris that night became a canvas for Filipino stories of migration, resilience, faith, and joy. It reminded everyone watching that Christmas is not owned by any one place. It lives wherever people choose kindness, community, and hope. For those back in the Philippines, watching Pasko light up Paris sparked pride. Their traditions had traveled far, touching lives across continents. It was a reminder that even as Filipinos leave to seek better futures, they remain deeply connected to home. For the world, it was a gentle lesson in cultural exchange. Not through museums or lectures, but through song, light, and shared humanity. A reminder that the most powerful stories are often the simplest ones, people coming together to celebrate who they are. As Christmas approached, the memory of that night continued to glow. Like a parol lit from within, it symbolized hope, hope that no matter where life takes you, you can always recreate a piece of home. How Pasko lit up Paris is not just about Filipinos in France. It's about migrants everywhere who refuse to let go of joy, who transform longing into celebration, and who remind the world that culture is strongest when shared. Near the Eiffel Tower, under a winter sky, Filipino voices proved something timeless. Christmas is not defined by geography, but by heart. And that night, in the City of Light, Pasko didn't just shine. It belonged.